Okay, so now we've created our extruded 3D piece. What we can do now is start thinking about how this is going to be fixed to the pieces of plywood which we're using to create the overall lamp. Now, what's an important technique and skill to learn now is about the actual orientation and the view that you have when you are looking at your piece, because it will make your life easier when you're trying to alter this actual physical 3D piece. Tool for that is up at the top here. It does say view orientation, and it literally allows you to change the view that you view your piece from. So you can literally go all the way around your piece, looking at it however you want, from loads of angles which make it look, really neat, quite honestly. We need to go for it and be looking at it from this angle, because we're going to be building and sketching onto this face here. So as I say, make sure you've got this orientation here, and make sure you are highlighting this end face here. No others, just that one. And then if you right click on that blue highlighted face, what we can do now is actually sketch onto this face here, so we can begin drawing onto that face in the hope and to attempt to change it. And then it's very much like the very beginning. We can sketch out and draw as we need using these sketch tools up at the top here. I've chosen the corner rectangle. That's essentially how you draw a box. I'm just going to click and pull out, and you can see the blue line there just about against the blue of the face. Click and position it, and then it does make it a little bit clearer once you have clicked off. And then exactly as before, what we are able to do is to begin to change the dimensions of this box which we've created. Now, the wood which you are using to create your lamp is a total of around about 14mm thick. So we want to make sure that when your pieces are turned on their edges, that it will fit in here. So crucially, we need to make sure that the width of this gap is going to fit it in. So we're going to change that to 15mm. Now, I know the wood is 14. You still want to make sure that you can fit it in. If it was 14mm, the thickness of the wood, trying to squeeze into a gap 14, it just wouldn't go. So we've got a little bit of tolerance here. So that's why we've gone for 15. It allows about 0.5 of a mil on each side, which when I've tested it works really nicely. And then we're going to tick that, and so that will have also changed this measurement down here. If we click and drag, you can see it's exactly the same. I'm going to click off that because we only need it dimensioned once. The next bit to change the dimension of is the side of this. So that's the actual, when you're looking at your piece of wood, kind of the width across the face of it. And we're going to change this to 35mm. And again, if you look at your pieces of wood, you'll see that I'm making these dimensions on the 3D piece so that the pieces of wood will fit in really nice and snugly. So I've changed that to 35 and tick. So that is the size that we want this eventual hole to be. What we need to do is now to position that rectangle we've got going on here equally on this face, and also to allow, once again, 4 walls. So we want there to be a wall created between this orange line and this line here, so that the wood isn't just going to be sat nowhere essentially. So highlight the edge of the box, highlight the edge of the box there, and once again click off to one side. We're going to make that 4mm, tick, and now you want to just go around and check that all of these dimensions are 4mm, so I can see that's exactly the same, so that's good. Escape from that, that one, and that one, change that to 4, and then finally this one and this one, as we can see, is already 4, so that's great. We're going to leave it as is. So what we've done there is we've created the outline and the general shape which we want this hole which we're going to create to be. The next thing to do, having drawn our sketch, is to go to the Features tab once more, because that's where all the tools are for altering things in 3D. And this time we're going to go to Extruded Cut, and that's basically the opposite of an extruded boss or base. Instead of pulling out and extending, what we're going to do is cut away. So if I then hold the roller mouse down and just pull it to one side, you can see that that gap in the middle is changing.